Yes, and it's a phrase synonymous with improv groups, and today we're getting to know a regional improv group that is providing summer programming for kids. Well, we want to welcome from Yesandia Youth Improv, Lane Sheets and Jake Trumper. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for being here today. And am I saying that right, Yesandia?
Yes, you got that perfect.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I was trying to figure out. So I got the yes and out of that. So Jake, kind of explain to the audience or folks that are unfamiliar what that is.
So yes and is a popular game that you're going to play in improv. It's one of the building blocks of improv. If you're new to it, it's the perfect way to get your foot in the door with learning how to do improv, how to build a scene with a bunch of people, and that's kind of where the idea of Yesandia, the camp, came.
I love that. It's kind of like you never want to put a period on the end of that sentence because that's when the improv ends, that's when the fun is over, and you don't ever want the fun to be over. So Lane, talk about how Yesandia got started and kind of just the overall mission behind your programming.
Sure, yeah, Yesandia started as our summer camp 2 years ago. This will be our third summer running it. And it started behind just some high schoolers saying that they wish they could do more improv. So kind of a quirky idea to do it as a summer camp grew into a we said yes and to a 15-year-old who wanted it. And now our mission really has grown to being like, how can we teach public speaking skills? How can we teach listening skills? All these everything that we do in life is so on the spot. So how can we introduce that while also giving them a fun performance element?
Yeah, improv is terrifying for a lot of people. And I'm sure, Jake, that it's terrifying for kids who are just getting started, but this should not be a reason for them to not try it.
That is the biggest thing that we want to do is being on a stage, doing stuff. It can be scary. I was scared when I first did it. Now I do radio at US 104.9, and it all started with improv because it creates this safe environment where you're just playing yes and. What we're doing right now, you're just hanging out with your friends, doing this, and this camp puts you in that safe space to allow you, if you've got a kid or you know a kid who has that drive and wants to do it, but they might be a little scared, this is the perfect place to start it and give them an opportunity to learn.
I haven't ever met a more welcoming community than, an acting or a theater or an improv community. I really do feel like, they're all there to kind of let you trip and fall and then, kind of embrace you at the end of it. So very cool. Okay, so we want to talk about camp. We're going into our third year of camp. So Lane, what happens at camp? It's like a 3-day long thing?
It's a 3-day long extravaganza of all sorts of different stuff. We want to build, we want you to be with your friends, but we also want to introduce you to other people. One of the cool things is seeing these kids from other schools see each other at contests and other things throughout the year. So putting you in new situations, letting our people who have some experience lead those who don't, improv games, but also trying to incorporate that feel of summer camp. So what are some games that you play in summer camp? What are how do we team build? How do we build that community in that way too?
Very cool. And then Jake, at the end of it, they have kind of a chance to show off some of the skills that they may have gained.
Yep, so we're, the summer camp is on a farm, you're having all that stuff, and then you've got the final show on stage, which is kind of the big thing where you're doing improv with all the other kids from the other schools, and the big thing is the other schools, right? Like if there's a school here who wants to start an improv group, that's another thing we want to offer is like, don't be afraid to message us on the website and be like, hey, we want to learn more about starting a group, doing that. Even if you can't make it to camp, we want to just help because there's so many great professional improv groups here. Getting those kids introduced to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's great. You have, kids learning from people who are a little more seasoned at this. That brings me into as well, before we move on and give people information about the camp, you do workshops and you have showcases. And you actually have a showcase coming up pretty soon here in Cedar Rapids. So that's kind of like a young adult showcase and kind of just describe how kids get the chance to learn from adults when it comes to this.
Sure, yeah, one of the most rewarding things, we kind of did a trial version of this in December, basically. And what we found was not only did the kids thrive in the environment with a real full audience, but they grew so much because they had the chance to perform in front of people who weren't just like their parents or judges. So they got a chance to work with the professional improvers and kind of get that feel.
Yes.
Okay, well, yes.
Yes, and yeah.
We are saying yes. Okay, so you just saw the poster there for the summer camp, but there's the info for you. The Yesandia Summer Camp is July 10th through 13th. There is a showcase on the 13th in Cedar Rapids, like we were just talking about. Now, for more information on all of their programming, you can just head to yesandia.com, or if you want to learn more specifically about the camp, we've got that website also on your screen. Any need for volunteers or anything like that?
If there is someone who loves doing improv, maybe they just graduated high school and they want to, they're more than welcome to reach out. The biggest thing is just building that community.
All right, well, Lane and Jake, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.